It was a cold, quiet morning on June 6, 2015, deep within the formidable walls of Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. At precisely 5:17 a.m., during a routine bed check, the prison guards made a discovery that would send shockwaves across the nation. Two inmates, Richard Matt and David Sweat, were gone. Their cells were empty, and in their places, crude dummies lay under blankets, a chilling testament to the audacity of their disappearance. This wasn't just any prison, this was a maximum security fortress, famed for its impenetrable nature. Yet, two convicted murderers had simply vanished, leaving behind a profound mystery and an immediate, terrifying question: how? Clinton Correctional Facility, often called Little Siberia due to its remote location and harsh winters, had a long-standing reputation as one of New York's most secure prisons. Housing some of the state's most dangerous criminals, its thick walls and layers of security were designed to make escape an impossibility. Stories of audacious prison escapes throughout history often highlight facilities deemed escape-proof, like Alcatraz, surrounded by frigid, shark-infested waters. Clinton carried a similar aura of invincibility on land, a maximum security institution where the very idea of a successful breakout was seen as a fantasy, a testament to the ultimate triumph of human ingenuity over insurmountable barriers. The two men who defied this reputation were Richard Matt and David Sweat, both serving extensive sentences for horrific crimes. Richard Matt, a charismatic and manipulative individual, was serving 25 years to life for the brutal murder and dismemberment of his former boss. David Sweat, a younger, more introverted man, was serving a life sentence without parole for the murder of a sheriff's deputy. Their backgrounds painted a picture of individuals with nothing left to lose, a dangerous combination for any correctional facility. Trapped by their pasts, the future held only concrete and bars, a grim reality that fueled an extraordinary desperation. Despite their seemingly hopeless situations, the idea of escape began to fester. Against survival rates of less than 0.1% for those attempting to break free from secure facilities, Matt and Sweat started to envision the impossible. They observed, they planned, and they waited. The sheer determination required to even contemplate such a feat speaks volumes about their psychological state, a refusal to accept their fate. For inmates with nothing to lose, the most secure facilities represent not just confinement, but a challenge, an opportunity for a final, desperate act of defiance that could change their destiny, however fleetingly. Their audacious plan, however, required more than just ingenuity, it demanded an inside accomplice. Enter Joyce Mitchell, a seemingly ordinary prison employee who worked as an industrial training supervisor in the tailor shop. She was manipulated into helping Richard Matt and David Sweat, becoming an unwitting, yet crucial, cog in their elaborate scheme. Her position allowed her access to tools and areas of the prison that the inmates could never reach. Without her involvement, the escape would have remained nothing more than a pipe dream, a stark reminder that even the most secure institutions are vulnerable to human factors and internal compromise. What the architects of Clinton Correctional never intended to be a weakness turned out to be their undoing. Below the imposing prison lay a vast, forgotten network of steam tunnels and maintenance passages. Miles of them, running beneath the entire facility. For decades, no guards patrolled them, no cameras watched them, and nobody had thoroughly checked them. This hidden flaw, a subterranean labyrinth, presented the perfect, unseen pathway to freedom. It was a secret world, right beneath the feet of the unsuspecting guards, waiting to be exploited by those with enough cunning and determination to find it and navigate its dark, forgotten depths. The planning for their escape was nothing short of meticulous, a testament to months of careful observation and coordination. Matt and Sweat studied the prison's routines, guard schedules, and the layout of the facility. They understood the vulnerabilities, the blind spots, and how to exploit the trust placed in Joyce Mitchell. This wasn't a spontaneous act, it was a campaign, engineered with precision. Every detail, from the tools they would need to the path they would take, was considered. They transformed their confinement into a classroom, learning every aspect of their prison home, not to conform, but to conquer it. The acquisition of tools was paramount. Through Joyce Mitchell, Matt and Sweat were supplied with various items: chisels, screwdrivers, and hacksaw blades. These were smuggled into the prison, likely hidden within packages for the tailor shop or during her daily interactions. These mundane objects became their keys to freedom, transformed into instruments of liberation. The brazenness of their acquisition, right under the noses of correctional staff, speaks volumes about the level of trust Mitchell had, and how expertly she was manipulated, turning standard prison operations into a conduit for escape equipment. With their tools, the arduous work began. Like something out of the Shawshank Redemption, Matt and Sweat chipped away at the steel walls and pipes, day after day, week after week. They managed to pull a cell door off its track, saw through steel bars, and then, most impressively, begin their tunnel. The noise, the dust, the constant threat of discovery, it was a monumental undertaking, demanding immense patience and physical endurance. This Shawshank-like endeavor was hidden behind their carefully constructed facade of normal prison life, a secret world carved out inch by painstaking inch, over a considerable period of time. The night of June 5, stretching into the early hours of June 6, became their moment. Around 1 a.m., under the cover of darkness, they made their final move. They navigated the tunnels, sawed through a large steam pipe, and eventually emerged from a manhole cover outside the prison walls, just beyond the perimeter fence. Using blankets to scale the fence, they slipped into the vast, dense woods surrounding Dannemora. It was a perfectly executed maneuver, a culmination of months of effort, planning, and inside help that would astonish authorities and ignite a massive manhunt. Hours passed, and it wasn't until the routine 5:17 a.m. bed check that the truth came to light. The guards discovered the crude dummies and the gaping holes in the cell walls. The alarm was raised immediately. The shock and disbelief quickly turned to panic. Two dangerous murderers were now loose, in an escape that had been deemed impossible. The realization that they had been out for hours, already gaining a significant head start, only intensified the urgency. A maximum security facility had been breached, and the world was about to watch a manhunt unfold. The news of the escape quickly captivated the entire country. Thousands of law enforcement officers from multiple agencies converged on Dannemora. A massive manhunt began, spreading across the rugged, forested terrain of upstate New York. Helicopters, K-9 units, and heavily armed officers scoured the vast wilderness. The public was urged to remain vigilant, as two convicted murderers were now at large, their escape a stark reminder of the lengths individuals will go to for freedom. The scale of the search was unprecedented, reflecting the gravity of the situation and the perceived threat to public safety. As the manhunt intensified, so did the investigation into how such an audacious escape could have occurred. Authorities quickly focused on the astonishing series of security breaches that would have been impossible without inside assistance. The escape plot involved inmates managing to pull a cell door off its track, sawing through steel bars, and scaling a perimeter fence using blankets. These details strongly suggested collusion, and the focus soon turned to Joyce Mitchell. The revelations highlighted systemic failures within the prison, exposing vulnerabilities that no one had anticipated, or perhaps, simply chosen to ignore. Under intense questioning, Joyce Mitchell eventually confessed to her role. She admitted to providing the tools and helping the inmates plan their escape. The manipulation she experienced was a key factor in her involvement. Her confession shed light on the intimate details of the escape route and how the contraband made its way into the facility. This was no spur-of-the-moment decision, it was a deeply disturbing infiltration facilitated by a trusted employee, a chilling reminder of how easily the human element can become the weakest link in even the most fortified systems. 3 weeks later, the manhunt culminated in a dramatic end. Richard Matt was shot and killed by Border Patrol agents in a wooded area near Malone, New York. 2 days after that, David Sweat was shot and wounded by a state trooper near the Canadian border, and subsequently captured. The chase was over, bringing an end to the extraordinary saga that had gripped the nation. While the immediate threat was neutralized, the events left a lasting impact on Clinton Correctional and ignited a serious review of prison security protocols across the country. The seemingly impossible escape had concluded, but its lessons were just beginning to be understood. Even after Matt's death and Sweat's recapture, many questions linger. How could such an extensive network of tunnels go unchecked for decades? How did the internal security breaches go unnoticed for so long, despite regular inspections? Were there other individuals involved who were never identified or brought to justice? The escape exposed significant weaknesses in a facility touted for its impenetrable nature. These unanswered questions continue to fascinate people today, serving as a cautionary tale about complacency and the constant vigilance required to maintain security in even the most formidable institutions. The narrative of the impossible escape persists because its genesis remains shrouded in lingering mystery.